Yeah, I think there's an interesting catch-22 with the entire situation, with making jobs and such, and the irony is that I think it's the young people that see it first. Because there is the whole idea of, even with the Olympic legacy, or making having jobs and such like that, is the whole idea if there are you have to change your mindset, which you guys have all said, and you are all very true. It's all correct, because there are young people who get to a point where they are horribly lethargic, and they don't think there is anything out there. So there's the whole idea that young people lose hope. But and then there's the whole idea, if you lose hope, people stop going to the events lose funding, there aren't any events, so people who do want to go lose their funding, etc. So yeah, again, so it's a catch-22. It goes in an infinite paradox of not being able to do anything. So yeah, I think you guys are right in the whole first, the idea is to change people's mindsets and then worry about the economy, because God knows what's happening with that. I don't actually think I'm qualified to say anything about that, sorry. But yeah, I imagine there will be a bunch of jobs and stuff, because I know the youth zone and stuff like that during Christmas, and thanks to the Olympics, who's breathed new life into the borough, they've all done that sort of thing. And I'm not even sure if I'm talking to you right now. I'm talking to you guys.
No, wherever we see.
Yeah, so yeah, the whole idea that thanks to the Olympics and stuff, there's going to be great jobs. It's while there are jobs available, I think we do have to focus on getting young people up out of bed, bothered to get to jobs. So I'm not sure it's important to that.
So what type of benefits will the Olympic legacy have on the community of Newham?
So, like some of the things I already mentioned, I think the Olympic Games was not only an exciting experience for the communities in London, but it acted as a catalyst for positive change, for inspiration, and I think most importantly, sustainable transformation. Like the whole of East London has been regenerated. You now have, as Ola mentioned, a park. You have the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. That's going to be available next year for the public to use. We're working on it so that it's accessible, so that it's affordable, so that you can go to the park at no cost. And again, you can use that opportunity to carry out sporting activities, try to start new sports. I'm hoping that the Games would have inspired new sports like cycling, as opposed to the usual football or, I don't know, rugby. You could maybe cycle or badminton, I don't know. But yeah, some of the Olympic Park, I think, is definitely a massive addition, a massive improvement to East London. Yes, I think, have I answered the question? Was that it? Okay, so jobs, like I mentioned, there are now jobs with Westfield. Other type of benefits, I think it's, for London, it's produced a desirability factor. Like there's an international focus now on London. Like it's cool to live in London now. It's cool to be from London for like young people. That's where the Games were hosted. I think that's something London's really developing now as a result of the Games. So take advantage of that. I know, sorry, is it Manib mentioned about getting up, looking for jobs. Totally agree, but also try volunteering as well, which I've done loads of. There was a lot of volunteering opportunities during the Games. Volunteering is really, really important. I think probably more so than getting a job. If you can volunteer before getting jobs, it will help you, it will put you ahead of a lot of people. I was working and actually left my job a few years ago to volunteer in India. And I left during the economic downturn. So I took the risk to go out, knowing that I would come back to no job. But what I gained in that experience, the life experiences I gained, I would never have got that in my job. So go out there, in local we say the world is your oyster card. So go out there, find out what's out there, volunteer. It's free, but it's valuable.
In terms of the legacy, from a planning perspective, one of the things that's happened is that you've now got an international station at Stratford, which feeds you straight into Europe. You've got the DLR, which is only just being built, which feeds you straight into Canary Wharf, and you've got a very pleasant environment. I mean, some of you may have played planning games on the internet. And you know, when you play these planning games, the first thing you've got to do is to put in your infrastructure, and you've got to try and create the environment that then you suddenly find business arrives and houses arrive and all these sort of things. And actually, this sort of thing is very true to life. And what you've now got in Stratford is an incredible infrastructure that will attract business. I mean, we're very close to Canary Wharf, which, I mean, you just got to go and look at Canary Wharf to see the amount of wealth in that place. I mean, it's just phenomenal. And there's bound to be spin-offs, there's bound to be jobs that come from it, and this is, the infrastructure that's in place is the legacy that will survive for a very long time to come.
Yeah, just very briefly, really, and as Sandra tapped on it, really, about volunteers. When Sebastian's Lord Coe said that he was going to have like a massive army of volunteers of tens of thousands, I must admit I had doubts. I thought no one's going to get out of their bed to go and do anything in this country. But really, it's kudos to you guys, because it's like it was young people that did it. And I mean, really, I didn't mind being embarrassed to be put wrong, really, because it filled me with so much admiration and pride for young people to believe that you could actually aspire beyond that, and that really goes into the real nook of the matter. When you're looking at I can't pronounce his name probably, Usain Bolt, and I mean, okay, that's one, but of many names of people that got their golds throughout the whole of the Olympics. Mo Farah and others. I mean, there's something from, because I study film, so it's like you're looking at something called an audience identifier in the main subject. So you're seeing perhaps yourself do it of running around that track, of the playing the football, of the boxing, of going around the track on the cycling, even the marathons or however. Perhaps there is something you can identify in when it comes to aspiring and seeing yourself out of where you are right now, your comfort zone, and going into something of a greater tomorrow. I mean, you're here today in Newham, but this is only a launch pad for greater things, so you can take a lot of people with you. And the stars the limit, to be honest. And if there's anything that out of the Olympics, more than just James Bond with the Queen jumping out of a thing to take out of it, it's about aspiration. It's about where do you see your role, where are you going to go in the future. And that's where really one of the most positive messages for me that came out of the Olympics.
That was very powerful. The next question will be coming from Zeriona. Is that correct? Zeriona?
Yeah.
Zerina. Sorry about that. That's really far. Far from it. far from the real thing. Sorry, Zerina.
What measures is the council taking to help and support parents in Newham?
Repeat it.
What measures is the council taking to help and support parents in Newham?
Right, who wants to do that one? I'll briefly take it and then see if anyone picks up. I'll briefly have a go. It's a legitimate question, to be honest. Ola worked very hard to try and get Labour councillors here, and it's a wholly 100% Labour controlled area. This is 60 seats and all 60 are Labour, and there were so many numerous invites and so many excuses that were given to be here today, and Ola had to work extra hard, and thank God that she got us, a motley crew together, and we're hoping to do as good a job. What I will say is this, is that it's perhaps one of the reasons why is because their funding cuts are so much, they haven't got a real good answer to say to parents. What the legitimate answer would be, hopefully, would be that really it is about community and us all working together to find these radical solutions out of the box, as it were, which we talked about before, to address redress, as it were, the gap in not only funding, in actually trying to get community involvement, so that there should be really stakeholder, more community involvement in schools, rather than just simply stopping at the gates, as it were.
The Newham Council have formed an organization called FIP, Family Intervention Program. This would help parents who have children at the risk of neglect or abuse. And then they also have the Newham Children's Trust, working together to share information with multi-agencies and staff from the council. They also work with the police to work with young offenders in tracking young offenders entering the young offending team. And they also allow the police to work in schools to eliminate harassment, bullying, and all that. From some of these programs that have been set up over the past 3 years, there has been a decrease in young people's reoffending. And the police and the council also work closely to ensure parks, playgrounds, and streets are clean and well lighted up. And there's a regular patrol of these areas just to ensure that there's a safer community. And there's also joint funding of officers in this area. And it has been successful. That's just information I was able to get.
Just to add to that, the council have worked with the ODA, the Olympic Delivery Authority, to provide new properties. So properties were built, for example, the Athletes Village, as a result of the Games, and they have now worked with the council to provide social housing. So you've got beautiful new modern flats being built in Stratford at the moment, which will be ready for next year. So they are targeting families and people who are currently awaiting homes